Remoteness of damage, law of torts. Meaning. Remoteness of damage means deciding how far a defendant's liability extends for the consequences of a wrongful act. Not every loss caused by the defendant is compensable. The law allows compensation only for those damages which are not too remote and are reasonably connected with the wrongful act. In short, the defendant is liable only for legally foreseeable damage, not for every indirect or unexpected loss. Object of the doctrine. To limit unfair and unlimited liability. To ensure compensation is given only for reasonable and foreseeable consequences. To maintain a balance between justice to the plaintiff and fairness to the defendant. Tests of remoteness of damage. Direct consequence test. Under this test, the defendant is liable for all direct consequences, even if they were not foreseeable. Status. This test is no longer followed in modern law. Case law, Re Polmis and Furness, Withy and Co. Facts. A plank was negligently dropped into a ship's hold, causing sparks and fire, destroying the ship. Held. The defendant was held liable because the damage was the direct consequence of negligence, even though the fire was not foreseeable. Reasonable foreseeability test, modern rule. The defendant is liable only for damage that could reasonably be foreseen at the time of the act. This is the accepted and prevailing rule. Leading case, Overseas Tankship, UK, Limited v Morts Dock and Engineering Co. Limited, the Wagon Mound case. Facts. Oil negligently spilled into a harbour and later caught fire, damaging nearby property. Held. The defendant was not liable because fire damage was not reasonably foreseeable, even though oil spill damage was foreseeable. Principle. Only reasonably foreseeable damage is compensable. Position in India. Indian courts follow the reasonable foreseeability test, as laid down in the Wagon Mound case. Indian reference. State of Rajasthan v MSD. Vidyawati. The Supreme Court emphasized liability only for proximate and foreseeable consequences. Remoteness in contract versus tort. Brief distinction, contract case reference. Hadley v Baxendale. Key points. Not all damage is compensable. Law restricts liability to foreseeable harm. Direct consequence test is outdated. Reasonable foreseeability test is the current rule. Wagon Mound case is the landmark authority. Conclusion. The doctrine of remoteness of damage ensures that a defendant is held liable only for those consequences which a reasonable person could foresee. This prevents endless liability and promotes fairness in the law of torts.